with a flop than you could with a hit. So jokes are built, merchandising. The kids love this one. Yeah.
It's been called the parody that saved Mel Brooks' career while skewering Star Wars. Spaceballs didn't just entertain audiences.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
It created the perfect satire of sci-fi blockbusters by lovingly mocking everything fans held sacred, while somehow making them love the characters even more. This tale of incompetent villains, reluctant heroes, and shameless merchandising combine cutting-edge effects with timeless Jewish humor in ways that redefined what parody could achieve. Today, we're going to ludicrous speed through the galaxy of gags to uncover the classified secrets behind the film that dared to make Darth Vader a short guy with breathing problems. Mel Brooks' Risky Gamble. Mel Brooks faced his biggest creative challenge when he decided to parody Star Wars, the most beloved and commercially successful film franchise in cinema history. What most fans don't realize is that convincing MGM to greenlight a Star Wars spoof required extensive legal negotiations and careful creative restrictions that could have killed the project entirely. George Lucas's surprisingly cooperative attitude toward the parody came with specific conditions. No action figures could be produced, and certain iconic elements had to be modified enough to avoid direct copyright infringement. Brooks had to walk a tightrope between recognizable satire and legal liability. The cast has revealed that Brooks worried constantly about fan backlash, understanding that mocking Star Wars could alienate the very audience most likely to appreciate sophisticated science fiction parody. His approach required balancing affectionate homage with ruthless comedy that never felt mean-spirited or destructive. Studio executives feared that parodying such a culturally significant franchise might generate negative publicity and potential lawsuits, making Spaceballs a high-risk project that could have ended Brooks's directing career if audiences rejected his irreverent approach to their beloved space opera. Bill Pullman's Lone Star. Bill Pullman's casting as Lone Star represented a crucial decision that shaped the entire film's comedic approach, requiring an actor capable of spoofing Han Solo without simply imitating Harrison Ford's performance. His theater background provided the technical skills necessary to create genuine character beneath obvious parody elements. The cast has revealed that Pullman approached Lone Star as a real person who happened to exist within ridiculous circumstances, playing scenes with authentic emotion and heroic conviction despite absurd dialogue and situations. This commitment made the parody more effective by grounding fantastic comedy in recognizable human behavior. Pullman's challenge involved finding original comedic choices that referenced Star Wars without becoming mere impersonation, creating a character who felt familiar, yet distinctly different from his obvious inspiration. His performance balanced roguish charm with genuine incompetence in ways that made Lone Star lovable rather than pathetic. What most viewers don't realize is that Pullman rewrote many of his own lines to match his natural speech patterns and comedic instincts, collaborating with Brooks to ensure that Lone Star's personality emerged through the actor's authentic voice rather than forced imitation of Ford's distinctive delivery style. John Candy's Barf. The Mog, who stole every scene. John Candy transformed what could have been a simple Chewbacca parody into one of cinema's most beloved comedy characters through his natural warmth and improvisational genius. His approach to Barf emphasized the character's humanity despite his ridiculous appearance and concept, making audiences care about a half-man, half-dog creature. The makeup and costume process required hours of daily preparation, with Candy working closely with effects artists to ensure that Barf's physical design enhanced rather than hindered his performance. What most fans don't realize is that many of Barf's most memorable moments were spontaneous creations that emerged from Candy's natural comedic instincts. The cast has revealed that working with Candy felt like masterclass in comedy timing and character development, with his generous spirit elevating everyone's performances through collaborative improvisation and genuine enthusiasm for the material. His commitment to Barf's emotional reality made even the most ridiculous scenes feel authentic. Rick Moranis as Dark Helmet. Rick Moranis created comedy gold by approaching Dark Helmet as a genuinely menacing villain whose incompetence stemmed from overcompensation rather than simple stupidity. His performance balanced legitimate threat with physical comedy in ways that made Dark Helmet both frightening and hilarious simultaneously. The oversized helmet became a character element rather than mere sight gag, with Moranis using its unwieldy nature to create physical comedy that revealed Dark Helmet's insecurity and desperation for respect. His voice work deliberately exaggerated Darth Vader's mechanical breathing while maintaining distinct personality. The cast has revealed that Moranis approached every scene with complete seriousness, playing Dark Helmet's evil schemes and personal frustrations as genuine dramatic stakes. This commitment made his failures funnier because audiences believed in his villainous ambitions, despite their obvious impossibility. What most viewers don't realize is that Moranis developed Dark Helmet's distinctive movement vocabulary through careful study of how the helmet's size and weight would affect normal human behavior, creating authentic physical comedy that emerged from logical character constraints rather than arbitrary slapstick choices. Daphne Zuniga's Princess Vespa. Daphne Zuniga elevated Princess Vespa above typical damsel-in-distress parody through performance choices that emphasize the character's intelligence and agency, despite her privileged background and romantic plot function. Her dramatic training provided foundation for comedy that never sacrificed character development for easy laughs. The cast has revealed that Zuniga approached Vespa as someone whose apparent shallowness concealed genuine depth and capability, playing scenes with subtle intelligence that suggested more complexity than the dialogue explicitly provided. This approach made her romantic chemistry with Pullman feel authentic rather than perfunctory. Zuniga's comedic timing emerged from careful attention to character psychology rather than broad comedic gestures, creating humor through realistic reactions to absurd circumstances that grounded the fantasy elements in recognizable human behavior and emotional authenticity. Her collaboration with Brooks involved extensive discussion about avoiding typical princess stereotypes while maintaining the parody elements that audiences expected, resulting in character who felt both familiar and refreshingly original within established genre conventions and comedic requirements. The special effects that spoofed a galaxy far, far away. Industrial Light and Magic's visual effects work for Spaceballs required creating space sequences impressive enough to support the parody, while incorporating comedic elements that enhanced rather than undermined the spectacular action. The team faced the unique challenge of making effects that were simultaneously awesome and hilarious. The massive spaceship sequences demonstrated technical mastery that rivaled serious science fiction productions, proving that parody films could achieve genuine spectacle when narrative requirements demanded impressive visuals. What most fans don't realize is that many effects shots required innovative techniques specifically developed for comedic applications. The cast has revealed that working with these high-quality effects helped them maintain commitment to their characters' realities, making it easier to sell absurd dialogue and situations when surrounded by convincing alien environments and spacecraft that felt genuinely futuristic and impressive. The effects team's genius lay in understanding that effective parody required respecting the source material's technical achievements while finding organic ways to incorporate humor through character actions and dialogue, rather than undermining the visual spectacle that made the original Star Wars so compelling and memorable. John Morris's score. John Morris faced the challenging task of creating orchestral music that could support both spectacular action sequences and sophisticated comedy without undermining either element. His approach balanced homage to John Williams's iconic Star Wars themes with original compositions that served Spaceballs' unique narrative requirements. The cast has revealed that Morris's score became essential to their performances, providing emotional guidance for scenes that shifted rapidly between genuine adventure and absurd comedy. His music helped actors understand when to play situations seriously versus when to emphasize comedic elements. What most viewers don't realize is that Morris deliberately avoided direct musical quotation from Star Wars, instead creating original themes that evoked similar emotional responses while maintaining legal and artistic independence from Williams's copyrighted compositions. The integration of heroic orchestral music with comedic action created sophisticated audio-visual relationships that elevated the parody above simple sight gag collections, demonstrating how effective film scoring could enhance comedy through careful attention to emotional pacing and character development rather than obvious musical jokes. Hidden references. Spaceballs contained references to dozens of science fiction films beyond Star Wars, creating layered comedy that rewarded both casual viewers and obsessive genre fans through carefully embedded homages to Alien, Planet of the Apes, Star Trek, and countless B-movie classics that influenced Brooks's comedic sensibilities. The cast has revealed that Brooks encouraged them to contribute references from their own favorite films, creating collaborative approach to parody that incorporated multiple perspectives and generations of science fiction appreciation into the final screenplay and performance choices. Brooks's Jewish humor traditions influenced the film's approach to authority figures and social hierarchies, with many jokes reflecting Borscht Belt comedy sensibilities that added cultural depth to what might have been merely superficial genre parody. What most fans don't realize is that many references were deliberately obscure, designed to reward dedicated genre fans while remaining accessible to mainstream audiences who could enjoy the surface comedy without catching every embedded joke or cultural reference. The meta-comedy revolution. Spaceballs pioneered self-aware comedy techniques that predicted modern franchise marketing while creating genuinely innovative approaches to parody through merchandising jokes and direct acknowledgement of its own commercial nature. The film's meta-commentary became more prophetic as Hollywood franchises embraced shameless product promotion. The instant cassette and VHS gags demonstrated Brooks's understanding of how home video was changing film consumption patterns, creating jokes that felt futuristic in 1987 but became everyday reality within years of the film's release. The cast has revealed that the self-referential humor required careful balance between clever commentary and self-indulgent insider jokes, ensuring that meta elements enhanced rather than distracted from character development and story progression. The breaking of fourth wall conventions through direct camera address and acknowledgement of filming process created template for postmodern comedy that influenced countless later parodies, while maintaining Brooks's distinctive voice and comedic sensibilities that distinguished Spaceballs from mere imitation. Spaceballs' legacy. Spaceballs found its true audience through home video release, becoming a cable television staple that introduced new generations to Brooks's sophisticated approach to parody filmmaking. What most fans don't realize is that the film's initial theatrical reception was modest compared to its eventual cultural impact. The cast has revealed that they initially viewed Spaceballs as entertaining throwaway comedy rather than potential classic, never anticipating how quotable dialogue and memorable characters would endure decades beyond the original Star Wars films it parodied. The film's influence on later parody productions established new standards for genre comedy that balanced affectionate homage with sharp satirical commentary, proving that effective parody required genuine understanding and appreciation of source material rather than mere mockery. Spaceballs demonstrated that successful parody could create original entertainment that stood independent of its inspirational sources, generating loyal fan base that appreciated Brooks's unique comedic voice rather than simply enjoying references to more famous films and cultural phenomena. Spaceballs endures as comedy gold because Mel Brooks and his cast understood that great parody must love what it mocks, creating characters and situations that honored Star Wars while establishing completely original entertainment value. The film succeeded by balancing spectacular production values with intimate character comedy, proving that genre parody could achieve both technical excellence and genuine heart. Brooks's direction combined his lifetime of comedy experience with respect for science fiction storytelling, creating a film that worked as both adventure and satire without sacrificing either element. The cast's committed performances made ridiculous characters feel authentic, generating emotional investment that elevated the material above simple joke collections. Can parody become more memorable than its source material? Does loving mockery honor or diminish the things we cherish? How do comedy classics emerge from what initially seems like disposable entertainment? Spaceballs proved that the Schwartz was indeed strong with comedy that dared to make fun of everything while somehow making us love it all more. Subscribe for more analysis that explores how great films work their magic, and may the Schwartz be with you, always.